I'd like to introduce the Master of Ceremonies for today. He is a dear friend of mine. Joe Ahern is the Chief Executive Officer of the 100 Club of Chicago. The 100 Club of Chicago was founded in 1966 as a non-for-profit organization that supports the surviving dependents of law enforcement officers, firefighters, and EMS personnel who lose their lives in the line of duty. The 100 Club reaches out to all federal, state, county, and local public safety personnel stationed in Cook and Lake County. Since its inception, the 100 Club has served 200 families with over $10 million, of which half was devoted to educational assistance for the dependents for their undergraduate, vocational education, and graduate studies. Previous to Joe's leadership at the 100 Club, he serves as the president and general manager of CBS Channel 2 in Chicago, president of general manager of KGO TV in San Francisco. He was the managing director of Disney International Broadcasting in Europe, and he was the president and general manager of ABC 7 in Chicago. You can't hold a job, can you, Joe? Joe has a wealth of experience and dedication to other civic and charitable causes, including the American Cancer Society, Children's Memorial Hospital, Chicago Central Area Committee to World Business Chicago, Loyola University, Council of Regents, and the Northeastern Illinois Public Safety Training Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce Joe Ahern.
Thank you. Governor Rauner, Director Schmitz, Chairman Garcia, Mayor Langfelder, distinguished guests, good morning, everyone. I am deeply moved and humbled to be asked to be your emcee for this most important and long-awaited dedication to the Illinois State Police Memorial Wall. In my role with the 100 Club the past 8 years, I have been there on the darkest days for our families and walked with them and their children as they began their long, hard journey ahead. Almost 8 years ago, the day after Thanksgiving, a police officer was murdered, and I made my first family visit on behalf of the 100 Club to offer our financial, educational, and emotional support. And I'm not ashamed to tell you that before I walked into their home, it brought me to my knees, asking God for His guidance and the right words that could help bring some level of comfort to this grieving family that was experiencing so much pain. I told them that I was from the 100 Club family and that I came to help, and I would be there with them forever. I have been blessed to know many members of the Illinois State Police family. I count them as some of my dearest friends, from spouses like Liz Kelly and Bob Hale to late Lieutenant Rich Kozik. We have seen some very dark days, but also celebrated some momentous milestones. And today marks another one of those milestones when we dedicate this park to the heroic values, commitment, and courage that each and every name represents on this wall. We are standing on sacred ground. May they never be forgotten and may be forever in our thoughts and prayers. Please help me welcome our guests to the stage to share our reflections on this wonderful space, and it gives me great honor to introduce the 42nd Governor of Illinois, Bruce Rauner, who is a great friend and supporter of law enforcement, all first responders, and our veterans. Along with Mrs. Rauner, they continue to reinvest in the state they love through the Rauner Family Foundation. Please welcome our Governor, Bruce Rauner.
You know who deserves the applause is the men and women of the Illinois State Police and all of the police officers across the state of Illinois. They're our heroes. Let's hear it for the police officers of Illinois. God bless you. You are our heroes. You are our heroes. You put your safety on the line every day, your personal lives. We owe you an incredible debt of gratitude. Today we remember, today we honor, today we pay respect today we also celebrate lives well lived and the tragedy of lives lost. To our Gold Star families here today and across the state of Illinois, we can't fill the hole in your hearts. No one can. But what we can do is say your family member's name every day. We can invite every citizen of the state of Illinois to come to this beautiful memorial. We can invite people from across the country and around the world to come to this beautiful field, this beautiful wall, and say your loved ones' names. Today, we celebrate what is good and right and just. There is no more noble profession than police officer. It is the ultimate calling. It is an honor for me to work for each of you officers. It's an honor for me to work with our Gold Star families and all of you. God bless you. It's a privilege for my wife and I to be major donors to this. It's one of the reasons I work so hard as a way to give back for wonderful memories like this. I want to thank all the fellow sponsors that have joined my wife and me in making this a reality. Thank you for your donations. Let's hear it for the sponsors and donors of this great wall. Let us use this special place to cherish the service, the integrity, service, and pride of our state police. Our Illinois State Police are simply the finest police officers anywhere in the world. We are so blessed for your service. Thank you. God bless you. Let us make this memorial shine forever to celebrate those 67 men and women. Let us work together to keep our officers safe, support our officers in every possible way. And I will take this moment to say again, I ask the General Assembly to join with me. Make sure that anyone who takes a police officer's life and is guilty of that beyond any doubt should not be able to keep their own life. They should give it up just as they take an officer's life. That is just, that is right. No one should take a police officer's life. We need to have that stand as law in the state of Illinois. God bless you. Enjoy this great day of celebration. God bless our officers. God bless the great state of Illinois. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Rauner. Mayor Jim Langfelder has led the city of Springfield since 2015. Jim served, prior to becoming mayor, Jim served as the city treasurer from 2003 until 2015. Jim's father, Ossie, also served as mayor from 1987 to 1995. Mayor Langfelder is a strong advocate of redevelopment in Springfield and a big supporter of the State Police and the State Police Memorial Park project. Please welcome Mayor Jim Langfelder. Mayor, thank you, John.
Thank you very much, and good morning to everybody here, especially Governor Rauner, Director Garcia, everybody on the dais, Alderman Senor, Representative Butler, all the dignitaries, and everyone else, but most importantly, our law enforcement that are here with us, and most importantly, the families. That's near and dear to all our hearts. Thank you for being part of today's dedication of the Illinois State Police Memorial Park. A special thank you to all those that made this memorial possible, especially the sponsors and everybody, the workers that put this great park together. Today is a challenging day. On one hand, we are here to be here for dedication of this important and impactful memorial. However, our hearts go out to the friends and family members who have experienced their loved ones' supreme sacrifice to protect and serve the public. We cannot fathom the sacrifice your families have made on our behalf, especially the mothers and wives of our supreme officers. I say this because mothers are our first teachers and healers in life. Now, with this memorial, they will again become the teachers and healers about life, a difficult lesson to teach. We extend our utmost gratitude to those who continue to preserve the memories of these loved ones, our fallen home front heroes. A special thank you to all the men and women in law enforcement who keep us safe each and every day. Please continue to honor the service in memory of our fallen heroes that made possible our path in life, past, present, and future. As we go forward, we do not know what tomorrow may bring, but we owe it to our fallen home front heroes and their families to live our lives respectfully and in unity, always remembering their loved ones' sacrifice for our benefit. Thank you for being part of this important occasion today, but most importantly, thank you for being part of the memories of those for each and every day we live.
Thank you, Mayor. Director of the Illinois State Police, Leo P. Schmitz. Leo has been a proud member of the Illinois law enforcement for more than 31 years. Beginning his career in 1986 with the Chicago Police Department and rising through the ranks to Deputy Chief. In 2015, Governor Rauner appointed Leo to serve as the Director of the Illinois State Police. He is an exceptional leader, mentor, and advocate for the men and women working in law enforcement. Please join me in welcoming Illinois State Police Director Leo P. Schmitz.
Good morning.
Good morning.
People say it, but it truly is an honor and a privilege to be here today to dedicate this site to the men and women of the Illinois State Police. Thank you, Governor Bruce Rauner, without whose support this memorial would not be possible. Thank you, sir. Almost 4 years ago, I made a promise to myself that the sacrifice made by the men and women of the Illinois State Police would not go unrecognized. 3 years ago, the groundbreaking ceremony of this beautiful park was finally begun. The Heritage Foundation's dream to honor the men and women of the Illinois State Police who have sacrificed so much has come to fruition. Congratulations, all of you, for never giving up. Today would not be possible without the tireless efforts of the Heritage Foundation, former Governor Jim Thompson, retired First Deputy Director Jack Garcia, retired Colonel Scott Giles, and the generous contributions of donors and volunteers, especially the architect of this memorial, Jim Wolf, who donated his services. On behalf of all the Illinois State Police and supporters, I want to thank you for this beautiful park honoring our fallen heroes. This memorial park reminds us of the members of the Illinois State Police who put their lives on the line for everybody else. They're protecting the citizens of the state of Illinois. They served with courage and distinction. They shared in the belief that the Illinois State Police stands for something honorable and just. There are 67 people on that wall. We owe each of these dedicated men and women a huge debt of gratitude, as well as something else to never forget. This memorial honors the lives and the dedicated service of our heroes, as well as their families, who have given so much. Their commitment to duty, honor, integrity is ever present in all of our minds. We carry their memory in all we do and are continuing the quest to keep the people of Illinois safe. Now, to the families of our fallen heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice, You are, and always will be, part of the Illinois State Police family. You'll never be forgotten, and your loved one will never be forgotten. This park, it's not just a park. This is hallowed ground from this point on. We remember the honor and the sacrifice of our heroes here. Let us never forget their courageous actions and the actions of men and women who were on the wall. They died heroes. They paid the ultimate sacrifice so that others' lives may be saved. Their legacy will live on forever. May they all forever rest in peace. Now, this memorial is just not to remember the fallen. It's a monument to every Illinois State Police that has worked in the past, the present, and we're going to be hiring in the future. It's amazing what our officers do to protect the citizens and each other. I'm so proud of them. As the director of the finest law enforcement agency in the country, I say thank you to each and every one of you that don the uniform every day. Thank you for your service. Thank you for the sacrifices that I know you make. And thank you for never forgetting this memorial. May this memorial stand here until the end of time to remind everybody about our values, integrity, our service, our pride. There's nobody better than the police. I will tell you, I am lucky to have spent my life doing this. I'm lucky to have people like you to look at every day. Thank you for what you do. And troopers, carry on. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Larry Trent led the Illinois State Police from 2003 through 2010. He was instrumental in acquiring the current State Police headquarters in 2007 and the park property for the State Police Heritage Foundation. In 2008, he assigned Colonel Jack Garcia to oversee the redevelopment of the park property into a fitting memorial for state police officers who were lost in the line of duty. Ladies and gentlemen, Director Larry Trent.
I'm so excited to see this day come to fruition. I don't know where to start, and there's so many people to thank. I'm going to leave people out, so I'm just going to thank a few, but thank you major donors, thank you corporate sponsors, thank you Knight Engineering and Architects, but especially thank you Heritage Foundation, Ron Cooley, Scott Giles, but especially thank you to Jack Garcia. When we purchased this building, when I was director from Franklin Life, AIG, later, they said they had this little piece of property they didn't know what to do with. They said, you have something you can do with it? And I said, oh yeah. So we talked about it and decided it would be a good place for a memorial park. So no offense, Leo, but I did what every good director would do. I just grabbed somebody and said, hey, you. Well, that hey, you was Jack Garcia. And I said, I want you to take over this and build us a memorial park. I like to tell Jack that I took the kickoff and I ran about 5 yards. And I said, here, take this ball, run it 95 yards for a touchdown. And he's done it. He's done it today. Thank you, Jack. I feel very privileged to be here today in the presence of so many remarkable and courageous survivors as we honor our fallen brothers and sisters in the Illinois State Police. Not only do we honor those who lost their lives in the line of duty today, we also honor the uncommon strength of those left in the wake of tragedy. None of us can even begin to fathom the unspeakable pain and anguish the survivors have experienced since that knock on the door. Their profound courage and remarkable faith has left me speechless on more than one occasion. The husbands, wives, sisters, brothers, sons, daughters, and fathers that we honor here today will never be forgotten, but neither will that deep scar on your hearts. It's my prayer that with the opening of this memorial park, you will gain some measure of relief, no matter how small. The people of Illinois will now be able to honor the provocative and uncommon valor of your loved ones and our officers. In a letter to the Bixby family in 1864, who lost 5 sons in the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln wrote, and I quote, "I pray that our Heavenly Father may assuage the anguish of your bereavement and leave you only the cherished memory of the loved and lost, and the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom. Survivors, I salute each and every one of you." Shortly after the Vietnam Memorial opened, I traveled to D.C. with my family to visit the memorial. As a combat veteran, there are the names of 31 friends of mine on that wall. I was excited to see it, but I had no idea what was about to happen. As I walked toward the apex to the V-shaped memorial, the granite slabs with all the names grew larger as I descended toward that apex. I was looking at the names as I walked in, and it was as if I was walking into deeper and deeper water until it was over my head. I was awash and overcome with all manner of emotion, memories, and quite frankly, uncontrollable sobbing. When I started imagining that I was hearing voices, some were saying, "I was only 19. Others were saying, "Remember me and live for me because I can't." Needless to say, it was one of the most emotionally charged memories of my life. I share this with you today because I believe that if the names of our officers could speak to us today, they would say similar things. I believe they would say, "You owe me. You owe it to me to take care of my family. You owe it to me to take your family on vacation because I can't take mine. You owe it to me to go to that Little League game. You owe it to me to go to that soccer game. You owe it to me to never take one single day for granted. You owe it to me to spend your time with your children and family. You owe it to me to live life to the fullest, to seize and cherish every single moment because I can't. You have to live for me." In closing, shortly before my mother died, she told me, "When I'm gone, I don't want you sitting around crying over me. I've had a good life, and I know I'm going to heaven to be reunited with my family and my God, so no moping." Well, I must have given her too casual of an "okay, Mom," because she looked me in the eye with a grin, and she said, "Well, you can miss me a little bit if you want." Well, as we honor our lost officers today and promise to live our lives for them, we're still going to miss them more than just a little bit. And this consecrated ground is living and eternal proof of our love for them. God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you, Director Trent, for those stirring comments. James Wolfe is Chairman and CEO of Knight Engineers and Architects. The Knight Company specializes in a wide variety of engineering and architectural planning, design, and project management. Jim's firm is responsible for the design as well as construction oversight of this beautiful memorial park. Jim and his team have led the way since the inception of the park project and have completely donated their entire services for the project. We should hear it for James Wolfe and Knight Engineering.
Good morning, everyone. So following Larry is a little tough act, so I hope you'll keep that in mind. That was quite a speech. I just want to thank a few people who have made this possible, and it really has been a group effort. First of all the people from Knight, and especially I want to point out Nanette Paradiso from our architectural group, who was our project manager. Nanette was so zealous about this project that up until about 2 months ago, when she was giving birth to her daughter, she was actually on the phone in the hospital, and she did a great job. So appreciate that, Nanette. We also have Governor Rauner, who is the only governor who has come to our motorcycle rides. He contributed financially, and he's been a great help. Thank you, Governor. We have Mayor Langfelder, without whose help we would not have a permit. We would not have a park today without his help. Mayor Langfelder, thank you. You have Leo Schmitz, and I've gotten to know Leo. Leo embodies all that is good in police, not only state police, but all police. We are really lucky to have him, so thank you, Leo. And then there's Jack Garcia and Paulette Garcia. So without their help, we would not be here today. And Larry mentioned it, but this park wouldn't be here without Jack and Paulette's help. So thank you, Paulette. Thank you, Jack. And finally, but certainly not least, all of the families and the loved ones of the troopers who've made the ultimate sacrifice. They have been with us through the fundraising, the design, the construction, everything. So thank you for being here. You know, this is a day to celebrate, but it's also a day to remember. So for everyone at Knight, thank you. This has been an honor and a privilege to work on this project.
Thank you, Jim. Mr. Ron Cooley is the president of the Illinois State Police Heritage Foundation. Ron is also the past executive director of the Illinois State Police Merit Board. Please welcome Ron Cooley.
On behalf of the Illinois State Police Heritage Foundation, I would like to offer our sincere gratitude for all of your attendance today to dedicate the Illinois State Police Memorial Park. The Heritage Foundation was created in 2000 to preserve and present the history, the evolution, the development of the Illinois State Police, educate the public about roles, function, and the contributions of Illinois State Police civilian and sworn employees. We also inspire young and diverse people to consider policing as a noble career and an honor and support of the families of those who have lost their lives in the service to the citizens of the state of Illinois. I would like to take a moment to introduce the members of the board of directors for the Illinois State Police Heritage Foundation. Stephanie Pesky, Ken Carter, Carl Weitzel, Kathleen Stevens, Juan Valenzuela, Christy White, Todd Atkinson, Pat Rogers, Rebecca Hooks, Chad Peterson, Matt Boerwinkle, and Renee Sibich. The officers are Vice President Stu Wyforth, Treasurer Leanne Shirley, and Secretary John Thompson. In 2007, the state of Illinois was in negotiations to purchase the AIG building, better known as the Franklin Life Building. And the issue came up with what to do with the Becker Park, the 1.5 acres that we built this memorial park on. After some back and forth, the AIG insurance company decided to donate the 1.5 acres to the Heritage Foundation. I am confident when I say that without the AIG donation, this land, it would have taken us a lot more time to build this memorial park. Director Larry Trent, as he mentioned, volunteered Colonel Jack Garcia, who in turn volunteered Colonel Scott Giles to form the ISP Park Committee, which then formed a partnership with the Heritage Foundation to begin to build the memorial park. In 2008, Colonel Giles approached former Governor Jim Thompson and asked him to be honorary chair of the committee, and he agreed. Also, a friend of Colonel Garcia, Mr. John Kelly, introduced the Colonel to the chairman and chief executive officer of Knight Engineering, Mr. Jim Wolf. And that was a match that John Kelly had a vision. I'm not sure how he has a vision, but he did, and that was a huge step forward to get this park built. With this team in place, the Memorial Park Committee, the Heritage Foundation, Knight Engineering, and land donated by AIG Insurance, we began a 10-year journey to make the Illinois State Police Memorial Park a reality. We need to make sure need to make sure that we grow the foundation, not only to maintain the memorial park, but improve the museum and to make sure that our ISP family has the tools to be successful. In closing, I will leave you with this. We at the Heritage Foundation are not finished. We have been focused on the building of this park for 10 years, and now we move on to other challenges. So please join with us and become a partner for our future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Sarah Freitag serves as the sales leader for the State Farm Insurance Agency in Springfield, Decatur. Sarah joined the State Farm family in 2000, and in 2012, Sarah opened the State Farm Agency here in Springfield. She has since joined the agency leadership team and was named in her current role in 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Freitag.
Good morning. On behalf of more than 65,000 State Farm employees and 19,000 plus State Farm agents, including scores of agents who help customers right here in Springfield and Decatur and the state of Illinois, I want to welcome you to this dedication ceremony. It is our pleasure to continue our relationship with the Illinois State Police Heritage Foundation and to be a supporter of this beautiful memorial park. This park will not only provide a spot for public gatherings, but will allow an opportunity to honor the men and women who currently serve the Illinois State Police, as well as remember our fallen heroes who gave their lives protecting and defending the state of Illinois. It's relationships like these that make me proud to work with State Farm, and that State Farm is affiliated with this memorial. Many people think of State Farm as just an insurance company. In reality, we exist to help people live confidently and navigate risk because we believe life's uncertainties should not be managed alone. We cultivate personal relationships by treating customers like a neighbor. And at the heart of any strong community are people, neighbors who care. But caring only gets you so far. Through a movement we call the Neighborhood of Good, we want to inspire, encourage, and help people to do anything, big or small, to make a positive difference in their neighborhoods. Just like the fallen heroes named at this memorial did, and what members of the Illinois State Police do every day. Building better communities is not our line of work, it's our life work. And we want to thank you for allowing State Farm to be a part of this ceremony today. We're truly honored to be here, and we thank all the men and women of the Illinois State Police represented here today for their honor, their dedication, and their service. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Matt Blakely directs the philanthropic efforts of Motorola Solutions and Motorola Solutions Foundation. He has more than 20 years of experience working with private and corporate foundations. As executive director, he directs philanthropic strategies, foundation grants, corporate contributions, and volunteer programs focused on science, education, public safety training, honoring public safety officers, and disaster response. Motorola Solutions Foundation and Motorola Solutions employees made contributions totaling more than 35,000 volunteer hours and $12 million in 35 countries annually. Thank you for always being ready to support our first responders and their families. Please welcome Matt Blakely.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you, Governor Rauner, Mayor, Director Schmitz, and Chairman Garcia. On behalf of Motorola Solutions Foundation and our 14,000 employees worldwide, it is truly an honor to be part of this. This comes at a very special time for us as a company. Just last week, some of you may know, Motorola Solutions celebrated its 90th anniversary. 90 years as a technology company based right here in Illinois. We have been working with Illinois State and police departments in Illinois since 1930. The Motorola Solutions Foundation was established and operates in Illinois since 1953, and we provide around $3 million a year to public safety charities and technology and engineering charities in Illinois every year. But more importantly, we are a company, as I said, of employees who know that the products and the services that we make, lives depend on, and the safety of the public depends on, and the safety of officers and firefighters around the world depend on. We have a dedicated and a committed staff to this with their own personal stories. Some of our employees are former law enforcement officers themselves, or who have spouses, friends, family, neighbors who are in law enforcement. I have my own personal connection to a state trooper. Over a decade ago, a state trooper moved next door to my mom and dad, and after my dad passed away, the state trooper would regularly go and check in on my mom in the south suburbs of Chicago. Just a couple of years ago, this state trooper off duty came to a scene that he knew wasn't right. He intervened and was attacked by an armed civilian. Luckily, he was only injured and is still on the job today. But it was a reminder to me, to my family, and to our community of not only the personal dedication that state troopers have to this state and the safety of its citizens, but the fact that they put their lives on the line every single day. Again, this is such an honor for all of us to be here and to be able to support this important memorial in this important state for us. You can count on Motorola Solutions for the past 90 years, and you can count on us for many, many years to come. Thank you, and thank you very much to the families and the troopers here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Motorola Solutions Foundation. Bob Hale and Sarah Dethridge are members of the Illinois State Police Gold Star families. Bob's wife, Trooper Erin Hale, died in the line of duty on October 30th, 1997, during a training accident. Bob and Erin have two sons, Michael and Brendan. Sarah's husband, Trooper Kyle Dethridge, died in the line of duty on November 26, 2012, when he was struck and killed while on a traffic stop. Sarah and Kyle have two children, Kaylee and Camden. Please welcome Bob Hale and Sarah Dethridge Steele to the stage, please.
First off, I want to thank everybody in law enforcement. You guys are absolutely wonderful. You're a close-knit family, and you are what's right in society. Thank you. On a cool late October morning 21 years ago, I was getting ready for work at the Chicago Police Department Marine Unit. Listening to the radio, I heard a news report that an Illinois State Police Helicopter Air 1 had crashed. There were no survivors. My blood ran cold, and I frantically tried to contact Erin, my wife, who was assigned to Air 1 and working that night. I knew we had lost a trooper, and I'm ashamed to say I was attempting to make a bargain with God that it wasn't Erin. After several unsuccessful attempts to contact Erin directly, I called ISP District Chicago headquarters. After a brief pause, I was told that Colonel Johnson would be arriving at my house in a few minutes. When that knock came, I opened the door to find Colonel Johnson, along with our friend, Trooper Renee Phillips, and an ISP chaplain. My worst fears were confirmed. Aaron and civilian flight instructor George Korelek had been killed in a crash. It's a moment when everything changed in my life and my family's life. I searched for answers and found none. I asked God why he would take Aaron and leave me to raise their 3-year-old son, Brendan. I thought if one of us had to go, it should have surely been me. Short time later, our home began to fill, first with a contingent of troopers, then with family and close friends. I received a call from the COPS organization and a visit from a gentleman from the 100 Club. These are two wonderful support groups that I was not aware of at the time. Funeral arrangements were made with the assistance of the ISP and family members. Thank God for all the support and concern I received, especially from my own department, CPD. I wish this was a unique story, but it's not. The family of every law enforcement officer killed in the line of duty could tell a similar story. Law enforcement officers form the thin blue line that separates good from evil. And when a law enforcement officer is killed in line of duty, their passing must be noted because of the honorable job that they do. Too often after the ceremony is over and the pipers fall silent, the survivors feel alone and fear their loved one might be forgotten. Fortunately, along with family and friends, there are several great organizations that pledge never to forget. At the forefront are the 100 Club, COPS organization, and in our case, the Illinois State Police Heritage Foundation. This memorial is a lasting monument to the troopers' lives that are behind the names inscribed here. The memorial also represents 10 years of planning and hard work by a group of great supporters. Many thanks to Jack and Paul Garcia, Director Trent, Scott Giles for their vision and hard work. Thanks to Governors Thompson and Rauner, the Illinois State Police Heritage Foundation Board, and all the Illinois State Police Directors past and present. And to all the generous donors that made this possible. Special thanks to Mr. Jim Wolf of Knight Engineering for their contribution of time and talent. We lost one of our biggest supporters earlier this year, Lieutenant Rich Kozak, who besides being on the board and organizing the Springfield motorcycle ride each year, was one of the finest men I knew. In closing, I would urge the survivors to come here often. Touch your trooper's name, sit and reflect on these fine men and women, and let them live on in your hearts. It's been said that we die twice, once through physical death, the second when we are forgotten. This memorial will keep that from ever happening. Thank you.
Sarah Deathridge, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you for including us in today's ceremonies. My name is Sarah Deathridge Steele. My husband Kyle is one of the beautiful souls represented in this reflective park. I want to start by introducing my little sidekicks, our daughter Kaylee and our son Camden. When I asked if they would like to come today to see the park and find their daddy's name, it took several explanations and changing of my verbiage from using the word park to instead referring to this as Daddy's Police Memorial. No matter how many times I explained where we were heading, they automatically assumed that any place referred to as a park should have brightly colored places to hang, jump, and swing. Right? After it was clear to them what this place is all about, I asked each of them how they feel about seeing Daddy's name in such a beautiful place. Camden, who was only 10 months old on that heartbreaking day, now stands a tall, handsome first grader, said it makes him feel really proud of his dad. Kaylee, who was a 4-year-old preschooler when Daddy became her angel, now a kind-hearted and sweet 10-year-old, said a place like this shows her just how many people cared about and loved Daddy. I couldn't have summed up what this park means any better than these two have. This park expresses to the public that we are proud of the men and women on this wall for having the integrity needed to compassionately protect good and honest citizens, the heart to serve when their service is widely taken for granted, and lastly, that they had pride in our state and believed in the importance of law enforcement in Illinois. We are survivors. We love honoring our loved ones whose names are engraved on these beautiful walls. Unfortunately for the families and friends left behind, the struggle remains. No matter where life takes us after loss, the nagging feeling of grief tugs on our minds and our everyday thoughts. We try to move forward and live life every day, but we can struggle with living in the present while a piece of our hearts is suspended in the past. They will always be our husbands and wives, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, no matter what our current family dynamic may look like. Some days our losses can be almost paralyzing, and on other days it feels like a lifetime ago. There are emotions and frustrations that come out of nowhere that are deeply rooted to our loss. We are still here to live the life that our loved one was denied. I hope that every time you think, see, or hear about this memorial park, you not only reflect on your loved one, but that you also smile. Because after all, this park is here because we are proud and these officers are loved. Right, guys? Yeah. Thank you.
God bless you, Sarah and Kaylee and Camden. Thank you to all of our distinguished guests. I know I speak for everyone here today and around our state how deeply grateful we are for every one of our dedicated state troopers and the families for their commitment and sacrifice. May God bless and protect those families and all the men and women now serving in the Illinois State Police today.